Famous artist, you are always being watched by the general public. So if you say or do the wrong thing, it's very possible you could lose.
Nah, chat, you know, I've got a good question. If there was one artist that would go live on Twitch and you'd be like, oh, no way, who would it be? I'm trying to think. Cause like, I feel like we've seen everyone with like Kai Cenat. Nicki Minaj wants to start streaming, which is pretty random. And then, what's it called? I'm thinking like the craziest, you'd be shocked over the baby. The baby ain't even that big, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I wouldn't care if the baby went live. I'm thinking like something like Travis Scott or something. With Travis Scott and Kai Cenat would be tough. I'm trying to think who else though. I love him live, yeah, first. Oh man, yo. So, I can't believe Juice WRLD died, but that guy was one of the best artists.
Whether it's getting caught lip syncing or making some very controversial statements, we're going to be looking into some artists who ruined their careers on live TV. Starting off with Milli Vanilli. Milli Vanilli is a duo whose career was built on a lie, and they are probably the best example of this video. The two men, Rob and Fab, met at a dance seminar in Munich back in 1998. They quickly became friends as they shared common musical goals, so they began looking for work as backup dancers. They made a demo album that they released under a small German label, and they sold a few thousand copies. This demo was heard by a record producer named Farian, who decided to invite them out to meet with them. Frank was in the process of creating what he called a star group, and he needed Rob and Fab to do it. But he needed more than just the two guys.
X Factor, they used to do that all the time.
A record deal and finally get out of poverty, quickly agreed to the multi-album contract he gave them with no understanding of what was inside of that contract. Little did they know that within that contract was something that stipulated that Rob and Fab would not be singing.
At that moment in our lives, we couldn't think better or wiser. We were 22, 23, very naive Germans, French people.
Well, I ain't ever heard these guys before.
Who hardly didn't speak English, who got this offer, you know. And I don't know if I would do it the same way, but probably maybe I would.
When Frank invited them to the studio, he had them sing a song called Girl You Know It's True and said he wasn't impressed by their singing. So the song they were originally singing was completed by studio singers. But since Frank had them sign the contract, he had full control over the two. He came up with the name Milli Vanilli and began his project. Rob said that at that point, they were pressured into going along with it since they had to pay back their record deal. Pretty quickly, the group began touring.
Am I bugging? The audio feels low.
Already recorded by the studio singers. The main reason Frank recruited them was for their star image, their looks, their dancing, and their style. But the lip syncing was an issue for the two right away. Rob said he would ask Frank, when are we going to be allowed to give some artistic input? And he would say, yeah, but right now we need you to go out and do promotion. Of course you'll get to do it, just work with us. Their first song, Girl You Know It's True, the song he had the two sing when he signed them, was a hit in Germany. Then Frank began working on their debut album, All or Nothing, which was released in 1988. Rob and Fab said they realized at this point that they would never have their voices on a Milli Vanilli song, but they were strung along by Frank with fake promises, along with the pressure of having a record contract dangled over their heads. Their album was released in North America with 5 songs hitting the Billboard Hot 100. 3 of these songs actually made it to #1, and by 1990, the album was 6 platinum. It even went diamond in Canada. Then at the 32nd Grammy Awards in 1990, they won their first and last Grammy for Best New Artist. Milli Vanilli was on top of the world.
Maybe I have heard their name before, I don't know.
But it wasn't the way they wanted it, and they knew it couldn't last. For a while, fans had been skeptical of whether or not Milli Vanilli were actually singing their own songs, because when they did interviews, their English wasn't that great, which had people second guessing whether or not they were the ones singing. But it all came crashing down in July of 1989, when Milli Vanilli was caught in the act at an MTV Arena tour when their vocal track glitched and kept repeating.
And this is true. Girl, you know it's 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 girl, you know.
At that point, the lip syncing rumors really picked up, and honestly, they easily could have been explained away with them saying they had a background track like many people do, but then other people began coming out and saying that Milli Vanilli was not the real singers. Background singer Charles Shaw wasn't credited in the American release of Milli Vanilli's album, so he claimed that he was one of 3 vocalists, adding fuel to the Milli Vanilli fire. Finally, after the statement from Charles Shaw and the botched performance, on November 14th of 1990, Frank said he fired the group and admitted that they didn't sing on any of their songs. Shortly after this, Milli Vanilli had a press conference where they had their Grammy revoked, which is the first and only time this has ever happened. During the press conference, they explained their side of the story and their experience with Frank, but unfortunately, since they were the face of Milli Vanilli, the public criticized them much more than their label and managers. They tried to release an album under the name Robin Fab in 1993, but it completely flopped, performing just as well as their demo album years prior. The two were struggling, thinking that despite the lies, the public would understand them and give them a second chance. But unfortunately, that never happened. On top of that, Rob and Fab were in financial ruin following the Milli Vanilli scandal.
So you guys are going diamond and so forth. Hundreds of millions of dollars are being made. You guys are doing your tours, you guys are on TV, these singles. How much are you guys profiting yourselves?
You know, it's
by the time
you
the
know,
first album is now
she was on loop.
Grammys won and
I
everything.
can't give you any precise number, but hear me out.
Yo, I don't think my buddy's used to this
He
new
blocked
weather,
everything
bro.
because of
Chat, it went from like
the
really
fights
hot
we
to
had.
like, I don't
so
even
the
know.
only way we could make our money was on the road and touring America.
Because of their issues with Frank
went
and
from
their
really
poor
hot to just
contract,
UK.
Rob and Fab hardly made any
Just
money from
insane.
Milli Vanilli. All of these terrible circumstances did not do well
It
for
feels
their
weird
mental
not
health,
having the
and
fan
Rob
on
in
anymore,
particular
not gonna
began
lie.
to struggle with drugs and started committing crimes. In a final attempt to get some
Committing
relevancy
crimes?
back, the two swallowed their pride
Nah,
and tried
guys,
to work with
come
Frank
on,
again,
bro.
but it was too late. They created an album called Back in Attack and were going to release it in 1998,
Back
but it
in
was
Attack.
canceled
So
after Rob's
corny,
body
man.
was found in a hotel in Frankfurt, Germany. He had passed away at the age of 32 because of an
What?
overdose. The story of Milli Vanilli is a tragic one, especially because the man who was really to blame, Frank Farian, was able to make off with most of the money and much less of the criticism. In a similar
That's so
situation to
sad.
Milli Vanilli, Janet Jackson took most of the heat for an incident that was really out of her control. Janet Jackson
I remember
is a very
this.
successful musician, actress, and of course is Michael
Luckily, she's
Jackson's
allowed
sister.
her award
Between
shows,
her
I
albums
think.
and movies, Jackson has done a lot of work in the industry, which led her to being invited to perform at the Super Bowl. When Super Bowl 38 came around, Janet finally had her shot. Prior to this, Janet had been touring with NSYNC, and Justin Timberlake, who is a member of NSYNC, had attended Jackson's shows as a kid, which led her to being a major influence on him. After the tour, Janet and Justin became good friends and worked together a bunch. So when the Super Bowl halftime show came around, Janet played a few songs, and then Justin
this is
Timberlake
crazy.
came out as a surprise guest to duet his song Rock Your Body. When Justin reached the final line, which ironically was "Bet'll Have You Naked" by the end of this song, he pulled off a part of Jackson's costume. When he did this, he exposed her right boob, although she had one of those nipple covers on. At first, people were confused and not sure if the move was on purpose because of the nipple cover and the line on the song, but Janet herself looked pretty shocked. And soon after, it would be decided that the incident was not intended and
Wait.
was a wardrobe malfunction instead.
So
After
what
the
was
show,
supposed to
MTV
happen,
and
though?
CBS apologized for the flash and said they had no clue the duo's performance included partial nudity. MTV's CEO
Well,
at
I ain't
first said
gonna
that
lie.
it was a stunt that Janet had planned
Huh.
and said that they did not
If they didn't even show nothing, then what's so big about it
intend
then?
for this nudity to occur, but the damage had been done. The NFL commissioner and the FCC chairman publicly ridiculed Janet. A representative of Janet tried to explain the malfunction, saying Justin Timberlake was only supposed to pull away the rubber to reveal a red lace bra, but the garment collapsed. CBS forced Jackson to release a public apology in which she explained the context and attempted to rectify the mistake.
My decision to change the
Oh, it ain't even her fault, man. That's weird.
After the final rehearsal, MTV, CBS, the NFL had no knowledge of this whatsoever, and unfortunately, the whole thing went wrong in the end. I am really sorry if I offended anyone. That was truly not my intention.
In a later interview, Janet said she felt humiliated that tens of millions of people saw her exposed, but she felt that the outrage was unjustified. What's funny is that some conspiracy theorists thought that this was a way that the media was trying to distract us from the real issue at hand, like the war in Iraq. Regardless, people were overreacting like crazy when this happened. Some media outlets even released edited versions of Jackson's apology to make it seem like the move was intentional. She said,
What the fuck?
"It's hard to believe that there's a war and famine going on in the world, and yet people made such a
Yo, what the hell is that? What alert is that? Is that the alert when someone subscribes on YouTube? What the fuck? Yo, what's good? Wait, what do I call your name? YNX. Yo, is that the alert when someone subs on YouTube? Dead ass. Wait, did you just subscribe on YouTube? Nah, bro, I can't be having that alert, bro. Nah. What the hell? Wait, Did you just sub on YouTube? Bro, where's my alert box, bro? I'm being so dead ass. Yo, where's YouTube? Ah, here we go. YouTube subs. I just subbed. Okay. Subscribers. Okay, yeah, here we go. Yeah, there we go. Okay. All right, there we go. Because I was about to say, bro, if I have those alerts, you on Twitch? Yeah, I'm on Twitch and YouTube.
Big deal about her breast. People said it was done intentionally to sell.
Can you react to this edit?
You know
if
what?
you weren't
I've
new,
never
yeah,
pulled a
but
stunt.
bro,
Why
you
would-
didn't say hi. You didn't say how are you. You just said, can you react to this edit? Boom, and it's dropped the link.
You do that and have your album come out 2 months later. It doesn't make sense.
I already
And
know
many
you're dodgy,
industry
bro.
Professionals came out in support of her. Also, they were calling it Nipplegate, just so you guys know. The Rolling Stone said, for the FCC, Nipplegate provided an opportunity to restore order and flex whatever power they had left. Faced with lax broadcast standards for cable TV and satellite radio, as well as the absolute lawlessness of the internet, the FCC becomes hell-bent on preserving common decency and the family-friendly
What's
realm
my
of
Twitch?
network
Rxzz
television.
Live.
While the aftermath of Nipplegate starts to fade, the FCC will continue to carry its torch for the next half decade. After the incident, the public reception was pretty bad, and the FCC got 540,000 complaints. The event prompted the FCC to conduct an investigation that was even discussed on the
should make a
Senate
command, not
floor.
gonna lie.
To be fair, though,
What's
most
good,
of the
JJ?
discussion wasn't even about Nipplegate, but instead
Oh, JJ, I
about
think I
basic
saw you play,
aspects
like,
of the
Sonic
show,
yesterday,
like
by the
music
way.
choice. At one point, a
That
Tennessee
game looked
banker
tough.
filed a
Yo, I need to
class
make a
action
command. Hold
lawsuit
on.
against Jackson and Justin Timberlake on behalf of all American citizens who watched.
I was
the
gonna say
outrageous
something, but then
conduct.
just,
Eventually,
bro, there
though,
was
the
just too much
lawsuit was
happening, bro. I
dropped.
couldn't
More
even stream
stupid
yesterday.
lawsuits came up, but like this one, they were all either dropped or denied. One advertiser, America Online, which sponsored the halftime show, demanded a $7.5 million refund. Because of Justin's line right before the incident, the FCC was able to ignore the context of the wardrobe malfunction and said that the accident was purposely done to shock.
Okay,
So
W.
the FCC fined Viacom $28,000 for all 20 of the CBS-owned stations, which totaled to around $500,000.
Wait, what is that Sonic
and
game,
was
by the
the
way?
largest fine ever given at the time. During all of this, Janet received a ton of the blame and very little support. Viacom CEO blacklisted anything Janet Jackson
what's
on
good,
all
Meta?
of their networks, and she was barred from attending.
Yo,
and
I don't know
uninvited to
about this.
appear
I
at the
don't know
Grammys.
about this
Eventually,
mother
the Grammys
trucking
allowed her to come back,
milkshake,
but her,
bruh.
Justin, and numerous other celebrities were
Wait, how do I
required
say
to
your name
apologize.
though? Winex. Why next? Why?
And comment on the incident. All of this overshadowed the release of her 8th studio album, but regardless, it pushed through and
Ain't
somehow
no way
went
guys
platinum,
actually
selling
cared.
over 3 million copies worldwide, and it received a Grammy nomination. So clearly her career wasn't ruined, but she got a ton of backlash. It's insane. And most people nowadays agree that Janet was treated extremely unfairly, especially when Justin was the
It's a
one who
weird
ripped
name,
the
I
thing
know.
off. Justin
Yeah, I might
Timberlake,
just
who,
call
like
you
I said,
Meta, bro.
received little to no ridicule, said, "I wish I had supported Janet more. I am not
I'm
sorry.
not gonna
I
lie, I'm probably
apologize,
gonna
but I
hop
wish
on
I
a
had
game
been
after
there
this.
more for Janet."
YouTube
This
is
incident made
dry.
Janet Jackson the most searched term, event, and image in internet history, as well as the most famous Super Bowl performance of all time. About a decade later,
fair,
the
JJ.
former FCC chairman Michael Powell admitted that Jackson was treated unfairly. He said, "I think we've been removed from this long enough for me to tell you that I had to put my best version of outrage on that I could put on. Look, I think it was dumb to happen, and they knew the rules and were flirting with them. And my job is to enforce the rules. But, you know, really, is this what we're gonna do?" He also brought up the issue of Justin Timberlake facing no punishment, saying, "I personally thought that was really unfair. It all turned into being about her. In reality, if you slow the thing down, it's Justin ripping off her breastplate. And just like Janet Jackson, but on a much smaller scale."
Slow it down. Slow it down. It was clear to see who else is up there ripping it. She didn't rip it off herself. Obviously, he did it. What?
Looking back, a lot of people thought their treatment of Slim Jesus was a bit harsh. To be fair, this was an interview on YouTube, not live TV, but I'm gonna count it, and there's nothing you're gonna do about it. Anyway, in 2015, Slim Jesus and his videos began going viral on WorldStar for his gimmicky personality and the attention he was receiving from labels. He was a scrawny little white rapper who was playing with guns in his music videos, so clearly this got quite a
hell
bit of
nah,
attention.
man.
He looked like he was a kid.
With
It
a
really was
bunch of
pretty funny.
nicks in the
However,
back.
Slim had a pretty normal childhood and worked
Aye,
pretty normal
aye,
jobs
aye.
creating videos, content, and music on the side. As he began
Nah, I can't lie, bro. Guys like this, yo, it's actually crazy. The only guy I can rate doing this is Eminem, bro. Anyone else trying to do it just actually looks corny. Yo, what's good, Mary? Well,
And
appreciate
making
following.
music,
What's
he
the
used
shit?
the drill genre with a lot of its imagery in his lyrics and videos, which, like I said, is what made him go viral. But this also led to a lot of people questioning how credible he was behind what he said in his songs
That's
and what
good.
he acted out in the music videos. Eventually, apart from going viral, people started actually listening to his music and he began getting more listeners. That had a few mixed reactions. The publicity, though, led to Slim getting more attention through the forms of interviews, which dove deeper into his background. He was really early to the shock trend that he was riding on, which made him something different that no one had quite seen yet. Kind of like Ian before there was an Ian. A lot of people made fun of him.
Nah, it's like, oh, what was I gonna say? I was gonna say something. Oh yeah, it's like Eminem and the Backpack Kid made a child, bro. That's what it's like.
People in the industry even dissing
Just-
him on
it's
songs
like
and
corny
just making
and-
fun of him on the internet.
Just
People began
Eminem.
saying that he was not as hard as he portrayed himself, but people kept hopping on the Slim Jesus bandwagon. Famous artists even began appearing with Slim publicly, although it did not seem that a lot of these interactions were genuine.
Bro, what year was this? I've never heard of this guy, bro. And apparently he went viral.
All this time, Slim was able to keep things together with
Tell
his
you,
collaborations.
8
and
billion
things
guys
like
on the
that,
world,
up
bro.
until the famous DJ Vlad interview. During his interview with DJ Vlad, Vlad asked Slim a few questions about his persona, asking specifically what real gang ties he had or if he had a street life or any of that stuff. And Slim's response was a big mistake in revealing the truth about his life.
You know, when you listen to your music, there's a lot of streets. Like, how involved were you streetwise?
Streetwise, like, I mean, for the most part on the street shit, like, I got homies that are in that shit, and I know people who are, and people around me. I mean, I haven't, like, I'm not out here catching bodies and shit, obviously. Like, I'm fucking
Oh my god, that's actually insane, bro. Guys are rapping off other people's stories. Okay.
smart, but, like, I mean, I know people, and I've been, you know, in some
It's like, it's
situations where I'm
literally
not,
Lil
like,
Mabu before
out
Lil
here
Mabu.
fucking killing people.
Do you have a criminal record at all?
Nah, I'm
He
straight.
explained that while he had been in some shaky situations and around some questionable people, he was just mimicking the genre he was a fan of. He denied the idea of having killed people, and when asked if he ever had a criminal record, he said no. This interview went super viral and now has around 6.5 million views on YouTube. Vlad even said it was the biggest interview he had ever done. Fans' reactions were interesting because a lot of people weren't that mad or
I just haven't
surprised, but
seen
then
the
on the other
guy.
end, a lot of people were upset. People were even saying that it seemed like Vlad wasn't happy about what Slim was doing in the interview. After the interview, Slim's music still performed decently, with some songs getting millions
Yeah,
of
that
views,
is true.
but it seemed like his momentum was slowing down. It was almost as if the mystique
Yo, just so your face, siblings, or Dave video fire, you got potential. Yo, W Ned, bro. W Ned.
of is this
That'd be
young
mad as
white
well.
kid really about what he's saying he's about wore off, and then people just kind of thought
Nah,
it was
on
good.
my
A lot of
soul,
listeners
I'm
said
about
it
to be
was hard
spamming
enjoy
vids.
after knowing
Lil
everything
Tecca said
he
he
rapped
ain't-
about
he
was
ain't
a
on
lie.
shit,
In
yeah.
a follow-up interview with Vlad, Slim took the seemingly
Nah, but it wasn't too
doubling
serious,
down,
like,
saying there was no point
lying
and
about
that it
being
would
a
only bring him
gangster. He just
problems.
lied
But
about
you
having money
actually
and
were the
girls.
first rapper.
I ain't no
to
regular
come out
nigga.
from
To the
jump
party and the
and
party
say,
get bigger.
I don't
You know I'm a winner.
live
I pray to
any of
God
the
every
stuff
day because
that
you
I
know
rap
I'm a
about.
sinner. Now I can't lie, yo, Lil Tecca is so fire. Oh my god, no troll. Lil Tecca is so good. How am I just singing a little bit of his song and it's fire, bro?
Yeah, right.
It's actually crazy.
Now, why did you decide to go that route?
Right now, baby, right
mean,
now. Yeah,
just-
I ain't
I
trying to
figure,
waste
like-
no time. You
I
know,
mean,
too
for one, I
lazy.
just make music,
Yeah,
like,
that
I don't
nigga,
really
you
do it, so
cannot.
obviously there's no point lying about it.
Oh,
And
nah,
also,
banger,
lying
banger.
about it is only gonna like bring me negative, you know, nonsense. It's not gonna, you know, bring anything positive in my
Now I know
view,
why
so
Jake glazes
I just
him.
didn't see the point in lying about it, really.
Even after all the controversy, record labels were still looking into signing him, but Slim also made the mistake of wanting to stay independent. The gimmick controversy consumed any bit of potential Slim seemed to have left, which led to a quick fall off. One of the final blows to Slim's career is when, on one of his first shows, he got checked by his own DJ who snatched the mic from his hand and said, "Respect real hip-hop." I've covered gimmick rappers like Slim Jesus
Damn,
before, and
his
how that
own
usually
DJ
doesn't
is
last too
crazy.
long, and I think Slim Jesus is a good example of that. Regardless, looking back, I think a lot of people think Slim got too much hate. They've even compared him to Lil Tecca, who openly admitted to lying.
That's
in
what
his
Callum
Genius
just did.
interviews.
Took an airline, took one again, crashed a Rari, so I hopped in the Benz. I don't even drive. I don't even know how
Ooh.
to drive.
Yeah,
I got two twin Glocks,
nigga.
22 a dance, I don't have no straps.
Okay, yeah. To be fair, that bar is crazy. But I'm not gonna lie, the music is so good, bro. You low-key look like Rakai. What?
for nobody. I don't got no straps. I got red, I got blue.
You
what
good,
you
man?
want? The Chanel, Balenciaga, Louis Vuitton. She know I got the Fendi Prada when I hit Milan. No, I've never been to nothing.
And while Slim Jesus was lying, Sinead O'Connor was telling the truth. She
Oh
was
my-
just
doesn't
a bit
Rick have
ahead
that
of her
yellow
time.
hair?
Sinead O'Connor was an Irish singer, songwriter, and also activist, which eventually became problematic for her career. At the time, protested some hot topics like child abuse, human rights, racism, and women's rights.
Oh, no.
Throughout her career, she discussed all of these things regularly, and these public displays of protest would all culminate in her SNL controversy. In her 2021 memoir, O'Connor wrote that as a child, her mother regularly beat her and even taught her to steal from the collection plate at Mass and from charity things. Because of this poor parenting, O'Connor got into a lot of trouble as a kid, at one point even being sent to a Catholic detention center. What she saw there...
What does that even mean? What, they just go there and pray? What the hell does that mean? Now he went back to black. Oh, Rakai, man. I can't like that guy, brother. Yo, he changes his hair as much as guys change clothes, bro. It's actually insane. He changes his hair like every stream. Man,
experienced was a major influence on her activism,
Holy.
specifically with the Catholic Church. O'Connor described punishments at the facility saying, if you were bad, they sent you upstairs to sleep in the old folks' home. You're in there in the pitch black, you can smell the shit and puke and everything. And these old women are moaning in their sleep. I have never, and probably will never, experienced such panic and terror and agony over anything. All of her experiences and mistreatment and hearing stories of others in her Catholic-dominated nation of Ireland led to her protest October 3rd of 1992. She was the guest on SNL performing a rendition
Bro, is she bold?
of Bob Marley's 1976 song War, when she held up a photo of Pope John Paul II and tore it into pieces. She then said, "Fight the real enemy," and threw the pieces on the ground.
What?
Of good over evil.
Am I even allowed to show that? I ain't the one doing
Fight
it.
the real enemy.
Everyone in the building was shocked because this was very controversial at the time, and also because no one had any idea she was going to do
Man
that.
said it
In the
would've
dress
hit, though.
rehearsal, she
Are
held
you
up a
mad?
photo of a refugee
What do you
instead,
mean you would've
so
hit
when it
that?
happened live with the Pope, everyone in the
Are you
cast
crazy?
froze. Apparently, one of the producers broke out in tears, and the vice president of NBC said he literally jumped out of his chair. Executive producer
Jumped
Lorne
out of his
Michaels
chair is
said
crazy.
the air went out the studio.
Man said
and he
that mouth must be
specifically ordered
crazy.
not to
Yo,
turn on the
yo.
audience applause.
This, you're a
Looking
freak,
back
fam.
Nowadays, it seems
Oh
like
my
everyone's reaction
God.
was a little
What?
bit much. I mean, we've seen way crazier stuff over the years, but I guess doing this on SNL in the 90s was a bit different. The photo of the Pope she tore up was actually the photo her mother kept above her bed as a child, and O'Connor said she was waiting for the right time to destroy it. On one hand, Sinead was known for her activism, so it wasn't too out of the norm, but on the other hand, no one was really tearing up pictures of the Pope on live TV. Very quickly, the public backlash began, with 4,500 live viewers complaining, and as a result,
Guys are too
O'Connor
brave
was
to
banned
be
from
doing this,
NBC
bro.
for life.
She looks
The
like
Catholic
prime
Church was
Dixie
obviously
D'Amelio.
pretty angry too, and she was criticized by the
wait, nah, maybe not
Anti-Defamation
prime.
League. Celebrities like Joe Pesci and Madonna joined in mocking O'Connor's performances on episodes later that season.
The show last week. Sinead O'Connor tore up a picture of them, and I thought that was wrong. So I asked somebody to paste it back together. So we have that picture?
Fight the real enemy.
Regardless, Sinead continued to push her
Guys
message
are funny,
when she
bro.
appeared on a talk show about a week after this happened. On the show, she doubled down discussing the Catholic Church and how it's responsible for the physical, sexual, and emotional abuse she had suffered as a child. She continued to explain that the Catholic Church had destroyed entire races of people and had been abusing children for a long time. Right after her
Bro, it's a
appearance
shame
on the
she
talk
got
show,
abused by her
public opinion
parents,
was
but bro,
still
how you
so
guys
bad
blaming
that
like
she
a
was
hoe?
booed while on stage at the 30th anniversary tribute concert for Bob Dylan at Madison Square Garden. A producer at her label said this controversy led to her losing the love of the fans, which was made much worse because she hadn't had a hit in a while. Despite how controversial this was, she
Yo,
stood strong and
she
maintained
destroyed her
position,
own
saying
career,
she
like,
never regretted
actually,
what she
bro.
did. She actually said she thought it was her greatest career accomplishment. And to be fair, when looking back, she was actually right. Ironically enough, this incident was 9 years before Pope John Paul II, the guy in the photo that she tore up, publicly acknowledged that the abuse of children in the Catholic Church was a real thing. In 2020, after a lot more details came out and opinions had shifted, Time magazine named O'Connor the most influential woman of 1992 because of her
What? Oh my life. So she went from most hated to most loved? Is she even alive? Where is she? What was her name? Summon O'Connor. Oh, here it is. Oh, next is the baby code. Shut up, bro. I can't lie. I'm too scared to even search this on the main tab. We're going incognito. She's alive. Is she? Ah, she's dead. Ah, she died 2 years ago, man. Oh, man. This is what she looked like. Look at that smile on her face. She said, I knew I was right. I knew I was right. That's what she said. It's a shame.
I understand that at the time I made that gesture, it was an abhorrent idea in America to suggest that a priest could be sexually molesting a child. So I don't have any, bad feelings or anything about it. I completely understand why people found that an abhorrent idea.
One fan said the world was not ready for her. Still
Ned,
one of
you've
the
lost
most
it. You've
courageous
lost
and
it,
badass moments in music history. After passing away in 2023, O'Connor was nominated for induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, which goes to show that after all these years, most people realized that she was right to criticize the Catholic Church. And while Sinead got in trouble for her activism, DaBaby got in trouble for the exact opposite. DaBaby is probably one of the best examples of this in recent years, as he went on stage at Rolling Loud and said some crazy things. DaBaby has been in a multitude of controversies throughout his career, one of the biggest ones being when he shot and killed a man in Walmart. The case was dropped as he claimed self-defense, but he also got a little flack for using the news segment where they covered the shooting in one of his music videos. However, after that, DaBaby began killing it, no pun intended, in 2019 and 2020. He released songs like Rockstar, Bop, and many more. He was dominating the radio and had multiple hits on his hands.
Was it DaBaby that made The Bucks? Oh, nah, he made, what songs did DaBaby make? Hold on. The Bucks was by Roddy Ricch. So DaBaby made Levitating. Alright, that was a banger. Oh yeah, YouTube stream can't hear this because of copyright, but these are bangers. They can hear it on Twitch. This one.
You know everybody been waiting on that baby, man.
Right?
Bitch getting pussy. Just nigga. Oh you.
Nah, to be fair, Bop was a banger. Oh, Rockstar.
My Glock told me to promise you gon' squeeze me. Better let me go the day you need.
Wait, I've got 2 liked songs. Let me hear what they are.
Cologne, yeah. I just signed a deal, I'm on.
Yeah.
I go where I want.
Okay. What's Done Trying?
Trying to try, yeah. That nigga life I took, that bitch ass nigga was trying to die.
Man, there's no way I listen to that. No way I'm listening to that. My goods.
Features with people like Jack Harlow, Pop Smoke, Chance the Rapper, J. Cole, and many more, solidifying himself as one of the hardest rappers out. But then at a live show, his career took a turn for the worse. On the last
that song with Dua Lipa is pretty good.
2021, DaBaby for some strange reason decided to start ranting about AIDS and gay dudes.
What? You didn't show up today with HIV, AIDS, any of them deadly sexually transmitted diseases that'll make you die in 2-3 weeks. Put a cell phone light in the air. Lady, if your pussy smell like water, put a cell phone light in the air. Fellas, lights up. Fellas, if you ain't sucking nigga dick in the parking lot, put your cell phone lights in the air. Yeah, keep it fucking real. Some of y'all niggas suspect as a motherfucker. Let's be real.
Hey,
I honestly can't imagine what prompted him to say this, but regardless, it was a big mistake. Many fans said that this wasn't homophobic, but many other people thought that it was very offensive, which led to immediate backlash.
Really?
He quickly responded on an Instagram.
Okay, to be fair, the HIV thing is kind of crazy. But I'm not gonna lie, that second joke where bro was like, if you ain't sucking, you know what I mean? If men ain't sucking. But that just sounds like a joke, bro. I ain't gonna lie. It's not really, you know what I mean? I don't know. It's just, I don't know.
Me and all my fans at the show, the gay ones and the straight ones, we turned the fuck up.
Yeah, it's a joke, man.
Was at the front of the stage, left over there by where I jumped at. Ask him. He got clips all on his shit. The whole night was recording. We were turned the whole night. My boy had the crop top on, front row. Yeah, out there in that jungle, in that water.
But even after doubling down and talking about how people didn't get it because it was a live show, the backlash continued. Many artists like Dua Lipa, Elton John, Demi Lovato.
No, come on, Dua Lipa. You made I'm Levitating with the baby.
I want you, baby. My sugar boo. I'm levitating.
Literally the most popular song. How you not siding with the guy, bro? I'm surprised and horrified. Can you imagine? Horrified at DaBaby's comments. I really don't recognize this as a person I worked with. Oh my god, Dua Lipa, no, bro. I know my fans know where my heart lies, and I stand 100% with the LGBTQ community. We need to come together and to fight the stigma and ignorance around HIV/AIDS. This is why guys just step in to be the Mrs. Superhero. Oh, nah, I don't want to hear her voice anymore. I'm sorry.
Questlove, and more spoke out against DaBaby's performance. Then DaBaby tried to apologize on Twitter, but the controversy didn't stop. His song with Dua Lipa was removed from the radio. The clothing brand Boohoo Man ended their collaboration.
Now listen, this is my take on what's it called? The LG. Oh, let me be careful. Let me be careful because Twitch is very sensitive about this topic. Oh my god, I gotta be very careful. Nah. In fact, I can't risk it, bro. I can't risk it. Twitch, nah. I can't risk it. I can't risk it. Twitch. Nah, I love Twitch too much. Nah. I need a correction
with him. He was dropped by Lollapalooza
because yo, the way
by the Governor's Ball, and many more bad things continued to happen. So he finally issued his third and most formal apology.
Protect Larry. Appreciate the follow, man.
I want to apologize to the LGBTQ+ community for the hurtful and triggering comments I made. Again, I apologize for my misinformed comments about HIV/AIDS.
Yo, you like
and
my
I know
name?
education on
Yeah.
this is important.
It's like
Love
it's
to
like
all.
protect
God bless.
like the
Although
artist, right?
after this formal apology, he did a bunch of stuff that made a lot of people think that it was disingenuous. For example, he called some people crybabies in an interview, said he couldn't afford to quit right now if he got canceled, and he deleted his apology. Because of all this, he lost out on a ton of opportunities, and the Rolling Loud performance was definitely one of the biggest blows to DaBaby's career. But he didn't stop there.
Then what
he had
is
a very
it?
public beef with his girlfriend,
Like
Danny
protect
Lay.
me.
He fought his brother in a
Oh.
bowling alley, got curved when
Protect
trying
Lyric,
to kiss a
man.
fan, and then it happened again a month later. He
The
shot
baby
an
tries to
intruder at his
kiss a
house
fan?
and punched his
Huh?
own artist Wisdom.
What's
It
good,
all
Kumo?
culminated when in August of 2022, he had to cancel a show in New Orleans because apparently he only sold
Pack in the
500
mail is
tickets
gone.
in a 14,000
She like my smell cologne.
It was pretty.
She de la mine. Yeah.
Packing the mail is
It's
gone. She like I smell
cologne. Yeah. I do what I want. Good. Me want should. Do me a should. Yeah. I can't forget the lyrics. Shit just
embarrassing, and it had everyone saying that he fell off. His last real hit was in 2020 with the song Rockstar, and he hasn't had one since then. I also want to point out that this probably didn't help, but a lot of people were saying that he had the same flow on every single song and that every song sounded
pull
the same, so that
up.
clearly did not help his career. DaBaby is still around doing freestyles and dropping songs these
Nah,
days,
to be fair,
but
the freestyles
his
are
career is
hard.
clearly nowhere near
You should
what
do
it
a
once
stream where
was.
you
And
spit
right
some
now,
lyrics
fans
and
are
write
wondering
a
if he'll ever
song.
be able to
You
bounce
got a
back.
rapper
Similar to the
voice, to
people
be
in this
honest.
video, there are a bunch of other artists who ruin their careers.
I mean,
with
I've done
one
streams where I've
album.
made
If
songs
that
on
sounds
stream.
interesting, make sure to click the video that's on screen right now. Other than that, thank you guys.